Welcome in, everyone. Children, cover your ears. Fucking hell. What a shift. That was disgusting. Absolutely horrible. I recorded on the way to work. I was just yapping about how shit I thought the week after my few night shifts was. But no, this was horrible. I'll probably cut it out. I was just yapping about other crap. Okay. Yeah, tonight was started off, got to work, went inside, and someone's doing a double. So if you do a double at work, you pretty much, well, not pretty much, you get to choose what patients you want to have for the second half of the shift. And of course, my lot at the back of the hospital were easy. They're pretty much all independent and can do a lot of stuff themselves. Just easy stuff like that. So this nurse was doing a double and decided she wanted my patients because they were easy. Like, I get it. It's good for her, but fuck you, really? Oh. And of course, everyone else was working yesterday or for the last few days as well, so they get to keep their patients, and so I just get shafted into the middle, where two of the patients are in COVID isolation. One of them is being treated for sepsis. Yeah, it was crap. I spent 99% of my afternoon with those two patients. One just because of COVID isolation, and the other one, it was probably 2% with the one that was just in isolation, and 98% with the one being treated. Like, she shouldn't be on our ward, for real. Absolutely ridiculous that she's still with us and not at a higher care facility. She spiked a temp last night. I'll start with, we had 7 patients with one assistant for all 5 of us, which that's normal, but she just did absolutely nothing for me. Luckily, the RN next to me I get along with really well, and she helped out more than the friggin' AIM did, answering my buzzers and helping me with my patients. But like, yeah, AIM, I asked to help me out at one point. She pretty much laughed at me and said, I need to answer the buzzers for people. Like, well, you're not doing that for me, so like, choose what you're gonna do. Do it or don't. I'm sick of it. Anyway, so this one patient is being treated for sepsis. They believe she's got it. They think she's got cellulitis on her right lower leg. And so, oh my god, what am I doing? They believe the cellulitis has gone septic, and yeah, the patient's getting fucked up. So it started last night where she spiked the temperature out of nowhere. I think it got to 39.3 or something, they said, Celsius, which is incredibly high. So your temperature should not get anywhere near that. But yeah, I don't know if they got the doctor in overnight to have a look, but once the ward doctor got in, she started at 8 this morning. She reviewed the patient and said that she believes it's cellulitis on the right lower leg, and that we need to put a IV cannula in, do this and that, do some tests, start giving her some antibiotics to try and treat the cellulitis. And then she wasn't worried because all the other obs, blood pressure, heart rate, oxygen, that basic stuff was still in range. And so she wasn't thinking too much of it. Unfortunately for me, when I got there this afternoon, I was in with the other COVID patient, or the other one we were waiting for the result for, helping take her to the toilet, and one of the other nurses went into the other lady and helped her to the toilet because she needed to go as well. And he checked her temperature while he was in there, and it was 38.5, 38.3, something like that, which was better because it's outside of the range where we need to call for a clinical review for the doctor to have a look at the patient and decide what they want to do. And so we were happy with that. It was down. And then it was about an hour and a bit later, the patient started calling out to everyone, whoever could hear her, because she was incontinent of urine, wet herself. So I ended up going in there, took her to the toilet, helped clean her up, and I sat her on the toilet for a little bit while I was changing the bed sheets for her. And as we got up from the toilet, she started like dry heaving, like gagging, almost like she was going to throw up. Like, right, why are you doing that? That's not good. How about you don't? Got her back to bed, did all that. And then she got comfortable in bed. I checked all on other obs, they were all fine. But all of a sudden her temperature had spiked again. Her temperature was up to 39.6 degrees. So I had to deal with that one. And it was, I went out and told the in charge, like, she's spiking her temperature again, what have we got, what can we do? Because I couldn't see her folder the that was left outside, because we don't take it into COVID rooms, obviously. So they had a chat. We gave her some paracetamol because that cools down. It doesn't reduce your temperature, it masks it, which isn't much help if it isn't much help if it is that high. It doesn't. It'll still make you feel young. I'll say that. I don't know how to explain it, but that doesn't look good. And so gave her some Panadol. She was due some IV antibiotics for the cellulitis / sepsis. And so we got them made up and ended up delivering them, or putting them in a pump, putting them through. Then while that was going through, I took my chance to have some dinner. I went out for 45 minutes and had something to eat. Then when we came back in, her buzzer was going off, and I went in there because the AIN was there, and so I went in to say, hey, what's up, what's going on? And she was looking at the IV cannula, and so I stopped and had a look at it, and it had ended up leaking. So that wasn't what we wanted to see. Not good, obviously. Had to end up needing to get a new one, so I stopped the delivery of the antibiotics. She had got most of it. It was just the last little bit that it had started to leak with a haze. So much salt. So yeah, she had got most of the antibiotic, just leaked a little bit at the end, and so we ended up stopping it. I flushed what I could to make sure she didn't have any antibiotic just sitting in a vein. You don't want that. And so I then went out, did everyone else's blood pressures and observations and that sort of thing. Luckily the rest of them were fine. Then went back to that patient. It was like 9 o'clock at this stage. I should have been almost finished my notes, let alone doing meds and obs still. So I went back in to her, did her obs, and of course now her saturations decided they didn't want to stay up, so her oxygen levels were about 90, 91, 92%. So I had to go in and deal with them. Got some oxygen, put it on. Unfortunately, you put the oxygen on, but she won't get half of it because she'll fall asleep and start breathing through her friggin' mouth. So that was literally useless. Tried to put a CPAP on to make her breathe properly, but that didn't do anything. And so CPAP didn't do anything. By that time, the in charge of the hospital came in anyway to put a new cannula in. And so I told her about the oxygen. We had to try and get that sorted. She ended up not being able to get a cannula in because the patient's veins are just yuck, too small, not enough room, whatever. Couldn't get the veins in, couldn't get the cannula in. We ended up getting a full face mask, putting her on 3 liters of oxygen just to be able to keep the levels. I think it was sitting around 98 with the 3 liters. So technically that was okay, but either way, it was in the review range. So we called the doctor, the CMO, after hours doctor, to come in. She ended up getting there about 11 o'clock. She's there now, putting a cannula in, reviewing the patient, just seeing what we need to do. I'll honestly be kind of surprised if she doesn't get shipped out, but they thought that last night and it didn't happen, so we'll see what happens. Anyway, that's my rant about the one patient. I'm gonna go home. I hope you all have a good day, night, evening, whatever you're at. And I'll talk to you next time. Goodbye.